All right, everyone, welcome to Deep Dives with Dogs. Well, today's topic is about the fall of the Aztecs. The Aztecs, one of the more well-known Native American empires, one of the larger empires in human history, actually. Not surprisingly, but interestingly enough. I think at the peak they had about 1 million or million plus individuals under the empire. Obviously, the Aztecs are also there when Spanish explorers show up to the New World. Obviously, the main Spaniard, at least Spanish explorer, to have an impact on the Aztecs is Hernan Cortés. Cortés is a conquistador. He is obviously very famous for being the one that ends this empire. The Aztecs had existed for quite a while, not a long time compared to maybe some empires through history, but a decent bit of time. They'd been around. Their capital is, of course, Tenochtitlan. Actually, a lot of Aztec influence is on even Mexico today. Their flag, for instance, the eagle on the cactus. I believe it's an eagle on the cactus. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it is inspired by the Aztecs. I believe that's where the name Tenochtitlan comes from. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong, but that's basically the idea. Mexico City is built on top of the ruins of Tenochtitlan today. It's why the city of Mexico City is actually sinking into the ground. Tenochtitlan was kind of a raft city. It was a big lake. It was more complicated than that, but more or less that's what it was at one point. So the ground there is not necessarily the best for a city. That's why Mexico City is sinking. One part that gets very much often forgotten about the fall of the Aztecs, and this is probably the most important part. Cortés, sure, he's a decent enough military guy, is not strong enough with just him and his other conquistadors to take Tenochtitlan. It's just not possible. There's not enough of them. Yeah, they have guns and cannons, but there's a manpower limit. They only have so many people. That's not enough to take a whole city with a lot of people living in the city. It's just not possible. So one thing that happens, and one of the reasons that the Aztecs actually fall, it has less to do with maybe Cortés himself, but more to do with the Aztecs. The Aztecs had made quite a few enemies, you could say. Many of the Native American tribes under the empire were not necessarily there because they wanted to be. They were conquered. The Aztecs, when they did human sacrifice, which was common enough, typically they would take from the tribes more so than they would take from maybe their own people. The tribes not too happy about that. Maybe not too happy. So when Cortés and his conquistadors show up, they are very willing to join to destroy the Aztecs. People are not happy with them. That's where Cortés actually gets his manpower from, and why the Aztecs are able to fall. If it was just Cortés and the conquistadors, they would not have been able to take Tenochtitlan. It just wasn't possible. There wasn't enough of them, not enough manpower. Yeah, they had a lot of firepower, but it's not really saying much in the grand scheme of things. But the Aztecs falling really has, like I said, has a lot to do with them. If they had maybe done things differently, if they were more of a peaceful empire, I mean, not typically how empires are, but if they were, let's say, more likely they wouldn't have fallen the way they did. If the tribes were rallied around them to destroy these Spaniards. probably would have been able to, actually. Now, forever, possibly. Actually, it is possible. They were ravaged by, obviously, disease. Europeans have diseases that they did not. So they were ravaged by disease. But if they had defeated Cortez, they would have gotten some firepower from him. And then if they, use other tactics to get more from Europeans, or even if, let's say, Cortez gets destroyed by the Aztecs, maybe they don't push as hard into the Americas. But because of Cortez's success and the taking of all of Mexico for the Spanish crown, Cortez really kind of lights the fire under the Spanish to conquer the New World, and leads to a lot of it. A lot of the conquering and the destruction of the Native Americans' territory by the Spaniards and other European powers all kicks off with, obviously, Columbus, but mainly Cortez. That's going to do it for this video. If you guys like the video, leave a like. If you ways you can improve on these videos, leave a comment down below. I just appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.